Good evening and welcome back to the Bowls New Zealand Somerset Champion of Champion 4s being held at Bowls Hastings Indoor Stadium. I'm Dave Hewitt. I have Shane Elliott with me tonight in the commentary. Welcome, Shane.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
The two games we are covering tonight are on Rink 1. We have Tolaga Bay with the Black Disc Bowls playing Martinborough with the White Disc, while on Rink 2 we have Manurewa Cosy Club playing Wanganui. And we're underway. We're on end 2 of the Tolaga Bay Martinborough game, and we're on end 1 of the Wanganui Manurewa game. And we have some results from the last game played, which I'll get Shane to call.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Dave. So we had West End from South Canterbury, Barry Andrews skip team. They had a 11-9 victory over the Nigel Kerback skipped Kaikorai team. Ray Boffa from Paraparaumu. They were defeated by the Papanui Club 16-11. As Mark Lewis who skipped that one. Unfortunately, Edendale, skipped by Shane Elliott, went down 14-13 to Grant Goodwin skipped Riverhead. We've also had Steve Ditford from Petone defeating Adam Hayward from Thames. We had Steve Liddington from Hillcrest defeating Garry Elliott from Omarunui. And we had Trevor Belk from Tokaro winning 17-10 over Tom Webb from Arapahoe. So that was the round 2 results there, Dave.
Thank you. And we're now into round 3, and as you'll have gathered by having to refresh, we've had a long day and we've got a couple more hours to go. So hopefully you've all come across onto the new link and we're underway. Out on Rink 1, where we have Tolaga Bay, playing with a black disc, we have Vern Marshall at skip. He's playing with black bowls. Marcus Merrick at 3, also playing with black bowls. Ben Elkington at 2 with purple bowls, and George Tamihana with blue bowls. The opposition team playing with the white disc bowls, Garry Muriwai skipping with blue bowls. Mark O'Brien at 3 with light blue bowls. Scott MacKenzie at 2 with orange bowls, and Hayden Frew off the front with blue bowls. On Rink 2, we'll get Shane to run through that.
So yeah, we've got Wanganui Club. They're playing Manurewa Cosmopolitan. So obviously Wanganui representing the Wanganui region and Manurewa Cosmopolitan representing counties Manukau. So in the Wanganui team, we've got Glen Springer as a skip. He's playing with the maroon bowls. Michael O'Leary at 3rd, playing with the orange bowls. Ray Savage at 2, playing with the blue bowls, and Alan Springer playing with the red bowls off lead. And for Manurewa Cosmopolitan, we've got Dave Clark playing with blue bowls. He's a skip. Shane Drabble, he's playing with the orange bowl at 3rd. Logan Clark with blue bowls playing at 2nd, and off the front Roger Andrew with white and blue bowls.
And as we can see by the scores, we're underway. We're up to the 3rd end on the Tolaga Bay Martinborough game, and Martinborough lead 2-1, and on the other side Wanganui lead 3-0 also after 2 ends. So Shane, Edendale, Southland.
It is in Southland,
Association.
Mate. Yep, so we're smack bang in the middle of Gore and Invercargill. So we're about 40k away from Invercargill and 30 odd k, or probably less than that, 20k away from Gore on the State Highway 1. We're a little village, probably about 500 people live in the village, and yeah, nice little bowling club there.
How many members you got there, Shane?
We've got 25 playing members. We've got a few social members there as well that enjoy our company and enjoy watching lawn bowls and enjoying our facilities. So yeah, we're a small country club. We battle quite well, and punch above our weight quite often. So
obviously quite strong because you're here, you had to win your club and your centre to get here.
Yeah, look, we've had a very good year the past playing season. We, as a club, we won 3 South and Centre titles and numerous runner-ups, and yeah, the club's in a really strong position, and we've got 3 or 4 Southern representatives as well that really bring the club through. The players that aren't actually in those representative sides, but they see that it can be done from a small club, so they're along for the ride as well, which is fantastic.
No, it's excellent, isn't it? And your travel arrangements, because I think it was your counterparts from Southland that
yeah,
had the way way long travel over 2 days?
Yeah, we were very, very lucky. We flew out of Invercargill yesterday morning at 6 a.m. And got to Christchurch just after 7 and flew from Christchurch directly to Napier, and we kind of flew over the rubbish weather in the centre of the country there. And unfortunately, our ladies representatives from Southland Hokanui, they only one was here. A couple of them missed. Got flights from Dunedin, but we're going to land in Wellington, and it wasn't that flash. So there's been, they arrived earlier today, and I have credit to, I was working with the girls trying to, make sure everything was going to be okay for them, and a full credit to the Otaki team and also the Papanui club from Christchurch. They agreed to, defer their games till tomorrow, which, gave time for the Hokanui girls to turn up, and that just, that speaks to the camaraderie of the lawn bowlers, and it was great to see that they were more than willing to accompany that. It's fantastic.
Certainly was, but one day the shoe might be on the other foot.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Might be up to them. So it was. We
it's
mentioned it this morning about their travel arrangements and how they flew at 6 o'clock from Wellington and then flew down from Auckland to Taupo and across. So
yeah, it was a big morning for them, and understandably they're absolutely shattered. They only had one game, but they're absolutely shattered. I think a couple of glasses of wine, and I think they're in bed. I think, but they'll be up early tomorrow to play. At 8 o'clock against Papanui, and as I said, massive credit goes to those two. Firstly, to the Hokanui girls for actually making the effort to get here, and then those two clubs, Otaki and Papanui, to accommodate those ladies and make sure that they didn't miss out.
Yep. And as you say, the ladies will be back in the morning, starting at 9. At 8. And our first broadcast will be 20 past 10. And then we'll have the men again in the afternoon, and then on to Sunday where we'll have the final series of games. Looking at the draw, it could be that we have 4 games on the day if we get over 8 qualifiers in either event. And with a couple of the defaults in there, it could add to our number of qualifiers, so we'll see how we go. But looking at tonight's games, all these teams have played one game, and all bar Martinborough won their first game, so Wanganui, Manurewa and Tolaga Bay all set on 1 win, while Martinborough lost, so they're in sudden death now, so we'll see how they go.
And the skip from Martinborough, Garry Muriwai, he's just been given the shoulder to move out of the way, so he's done well there.
Didn't take long, did it?
No, it doesn't. Well, it is hard. We were fortunate enough to play earlier on the TV rinks, and sometimes it is hard not to stand in front of the camera, and you have to, unfortunately, these guys are playing the game, so you've got to allow them to have a wee look at every now and again.
Yep, and it was interesting. I talked to one of the Takaro team earlier on who said they played on the TV rink in the game before last, and they said it went a little bit slower because instead of being able to be on the mat and ready to go, you've got to stay out of the way of the camera, so you...
Yeah, you're probably not standing on the head discussing things. You're probably walking to the head, doing a wee bit more walking and talking as you go along, really. So, I think we did play the Takaro boys, and I think we only got 13 ends in, I think, in the 2 hour 15 minutes. So, whereas the last game we played against the Riverhead boys, we were well inside, the 2:15.
I didn't realise it was you that was playing Takaro in that game because I wasn't here. I was having a break, but it's good. So we see the head on the left-hand side coming to a conclusion. The skips are down with 3 or 4 bowls still to play. Garry Muriwai on the mat now.
So Martinborough have also got their women's team here as well in the Champion and Champion 4s, so they should have some pretty good support.
They've done very well because they've won the women won the singles. They were in both the triples, men's and women's, last week at Nainai. And as we mentioned in the commentary last week, they were almost in recess a couple of seasons ago. So they've rebuilt very strongly.
It's a phenomenal effort, it really isn't it?
It is, it's tremendous.
It's a great effort, and you've got a national champion there with Tanya Wheeler now, so that's a great effort. And like the success like that, brings people to your club, and it strives the other members to do better as well.
Yep. And a lot of those players for Martinborough also play in the Wellington competition, so there's a lot of cooperation between the two centres. And it does everybody's bowls good to see that happening.
Yeah, it's great. And a little bit of success breeds more success in a club, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And you know, if you've got the likes of Martinborough here, you've got both the women's and the men's team getting to a national stage, you know, you'd like to think that the other members want a piece of that as well.
Yep. Yeah, very definitely. Garry Muriwai playing his last bowl over on the left screen. Chasing it up.
Also, he changed his hand here.
Try, mate. Weight was good.
Chasing it because I think it's a pretty good
Not
effort
a bad
here.
bowl.
He's added to the count. I think that's a pretty good bowl.
It's interesting watching on the screen. Can be quite difficult to pick what the shot is.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, but I think it is in the count.
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it?
Yep. Metre of weight
Looks
onto
like there
that.
could be 3 or 4 of them in the count.
So it looks like Marcus Merrick is asking Vern Marshall to basically follow that bowl down and just draw right around it. And how's his weight here, Dave?
Great shot, mate. 2
He's
shots.
going to fade under the front one.
Just going to get just got it a touch full.
We'll cut out a couple, I'm sure. Tolaga Bay are also, for a small club, doing well.
Yes, yeah.
Vern was at 9-0 last week for the triples as well.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's a great concept, this Champion of Champions. You know, it gets the... I know, you know, we had the pathway events for your centre champions and so forth.
Your open champions going through here.
That's right. Now it's, you know, open to the Champion of Champion. I think it just opens up for the... And I won't say the average club player, but, you know, every club player has now a chance now to go onto a national stage.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing different people than we're used to seeing the opens.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is great, which is fantastic.
And on the right screen, we now have Wanganui in front of Manurewa by 3 shots to 2 after 3 of 15 ends. And looking at the clock, I think we started just before 9, so it'll be after 11 when we close down tonight. And then we'll start again at 8.
Back into it in the morning.
Yep. Long day for the Bowls New Zealand team that are at it all day.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, aren't they?
Oh, they're fantastic.
They've done a great job.
Like you and I just come in and out of the show, but
yeah, exactly.
the people to our right running the technical side have been here all day.
Yeah, that was a top bowl there from Michael O'Leary from Wanganui. 2 down on the head, probably 1 down now.
And George Tamihana, is that George Tamihana that's using the bowling arm?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. Yeah. Seeing a lot more of those being played now, aren't we? And,
We are.
And, look, I think it's a great thing. Extends people's playing time. As you can see, Hayden Frew just about to deliver his bowl. You know, there's a lot of mechanics in delivering a bowl. And, you know, like if we're getting a wee bit older and a wee bit sore, I mean, if we can continue playing, and especially at this level with an arm, then... You know,
in Australia, I understand they have arm championships.
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah.
Because I think over there, their greenkeepers are much more concerned about their greens, and if you can't get down at a dumping, you get basically told you use an arm or you don't play.
That's
anymore.
right. Yeah, I've been over there a few times, and a lot of clubs use a card system. They'll just place a wee card in front of the person, don't embarrass them or anything like that, and just say, hey, look, there's arms to be used if you need to. And as you can see here, George is pretty deadly with it.
These are over a metre short.
It's all about the release handle, isn't it, on those things?
Absolutely.
It's timing your release on the handle as opposed to timing your release on the bowl.
Yes.
Scott MacKenzie, one of the players that I know plays in the both Wairarapa and Wellington, because he plays for our club at Silverstream during the interclub season, along with Hayden Frew.
I believe Scott hasn't been playing that long, has he?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he was part of the Wairarapa team that come third equal in the Intercentre a couple of years ago, which was a great effort from Wairarapa. Knocked over a few big scalps.
Yeah, well, I heard Kevin Hickland talking about that in the last game. They had a secondary school competition here earlier in the week, and Wairarapa came third in that too. So they're certainly putting in some work as to developing players as well. So it's...
And as we said, success breeds success, and with the Intercentre team doing well, and obviously the ladies are going okay as well. You're encouraging these younger players to get involved, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and they're only a small centre, about 300 players.
Yes, yeah.
And
That's a metre short.
Quite spread from Martinborough to Huna.
Anything inside here is the shot.
What sort of distances do you have to travel in the Southland Centre?
Yeah, we're not too bad. We've got a couple of sub-centres, so we're in what they call Eastern Southland. Edendale's in the Eastern Southland sub-centre, so we have to travel up to Lumsden, which is on the way to Queenstown, which is probably just over an hour to get there. And Tapanui, which is on the way through to Alexandra. That's about 50 minutes. So if you're playing in Invercargill, in the Invercargill sub-centre, you might have to go through to Lumsden or Tapanui or somewhere like that. That'll be a good hour and a half. Then you've got Central Western, which is your Winton, Riverton, Otautau, Tuatapiti, those places, which, if they have to go all the way over to Eastern, that's a good hour and a half, and that includes Te Anau. Te Anau is probably our most isolated. Apart from Stewart Island. Stewart Island's got a wee bowling club.
Okay.
But they don't tend to play in any championships or anything like that. As you can imagine, there's a stretch of water in the way.
Fairly awkward to get out for interclub or something.
But they've got a little 5-rink artificial on Stewart Island. But you've also got Te Anau, which that's a good hour and a half from Invercargill. And you want to go on the other side of Invercargill, you're really stretching it out to 2 hours. And Te Anau, they're a growing club as well. There's a lot of people playing the game up there, which is fantastic.
It always interests me about the distances some of these rural centres have to travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was managing Wellington for a few years, and our longest trip from the most southern to the most northern club on a Saturday is about 40 minutes at the most.
Yep.
And I still used to get grizzles about too much travel. I referred them to centres like Marlborough, where you go to Havelock,
That's right.
to Kaikoura.
Yep.
There's about 14 clubs at Marlborough, and they got a mile more travel to do than
They do,
clubs.
exactly. And you've also got the likes of Central Otago, where they successfully held the National Fours and Mixed Pairs here a couple of years ago, and about to hold it again this coming summer. And some of the distances there, Queenstown through to Ramphilly, can be a good couple of hours, 2.5 hours, and makes for a very, very long day if you're starting at 8:30 in the morning.
It's great to see these little centres being able to run the Nationals.
Absolutely
now.
It is, yeah. And look, Central Otago did a great job last year. The greens were in superb nick, and they just really hosted. Each club just hosted the players very, very well.
And I understand, I think the other half of it might be in Taranaki, is it this year?
I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
Looking over to our technical team on the right, the singles and pairs.
Nationals at Taranaki?
They're very blank looks at us at this stage, so we'll get
I
back to you
can't
on that
believe
one.
I understand Tamara does about 30 events a year.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
That's probably another 5 or 8 ahead yet, so not on a wavelength as to where she has to go just yet.
Yeah.
The interesting part about Taranaki, they
Taranaki, yes they are. Tamara's Taranaki.
It's interesting about Taranaki, they've run that open tournament, which is iconic.
Yes, the Taranaki Open, yeah.
And they got good greens, and they don't hesitate to change them if the green goes off the last week. If the green's off, they just can it, put the next one in, and ring the teams and tell them where they're going.
Yep, it's a superb tournament, the old Taranaki Open, isn't it? It's,
very good.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Been up a few times?
I have, yeah. Been lucky enough to go take a crew from Southland up there, and yeah, we've had an absolute ball.
Yeah.
And I think the boys are planning on going this coming season as well. So a few of our boys don't travel a lot, so we take them out to these type of tournaments is fantastic.
Yes, I've been a number of times over my playing career, but we went back on what we called our reunion tour in January this year.
And how were the bowls?
The bowls weren't bad. I mentioned it last week. We lost the first game of the tournament by 3, and then on the Wednesday afternoon we played a team who had just been put out in the morning, changed their whole team around. The lead skipped, and they beat us by 1. And on Thursday afternoon we had exactly the same.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
Team lost in the morning, that put them out. We needed it. They beat us by 1.
Yeah.
So we played 8 games and didn't quite make it, but it was a good trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Tamara's just throwing a bit of paper at us. Actually, the singles and pairs are at Auckland this year. So sorry to all those people that have gone on to Air New Zealand and booked their flights to Taranaki already.
In the last 5 minutes, yeah.
But I'd booked them to Auckland instead.
The good part about that is I don't think many of them would have got on to it.
No,
Air New Zealand is absolutely flat out at the moment with school
you're
holidays.
dead right. You're dead right.
I just happened to glance at the news at 6 o'clock and there were some complaints about how long it was taking to get an answer. One person apparently held on for 3 hours to get an answer.
That's a tough day at the office, waiting on a phone for 3 hours.
Well, perfect storm for Air New Zealand, isn't it? Drive looks like the kiddies went flying out the side. Picking up the bowls. Yes, they're taking them back, so that's a kill. On the other rink, where Tolaga Bay is playing Martinborough. The end is nearly over. 1 bowl to come by the look of it. And the white disc bowls are holding over there, which are the Martinborough bowls. Not quite sure how many, but we'll soon get a signal when the end finishes. Vern Marshall about to deliver. On its way, down the forehand side, coming into the general area of the head. And he may have drawn that shot cold. No, he might have just run through a little bit. We'll soon know when they take the bowls out.
All yours. Yes.
Martinborough lead puts the mat down. They must have scored, but we have no indication either through the mic or by hand signal as to what it was. It's Hayden Frew delivering the kitty, so we'll see in a minute what the score is. Had a kill on the Wanganui Manurewa match, so they're playing that end again. And it's 4-1 to Martinborough, playing 5 of 15.
Sorry about that, Dave. Just had to go and see my entourage. I think they're going out for dinner, so hopefully they...
hopefully they find somewhere open at this
well,
hour.
hopefully they pick something up for me. That'd be great. If they're watching out there, anything will do.
Hello, mate.
Yes, I guess most of the bowlers didn't expect to be here quite this late tonight, but we're talking amongst ourselves earlier and you really can't shorten this game down anymore. It's
No, that's right.
15 ends. If you go to 2 hours time limit for this one, you'd only be getting through 12 or 13. And
well, I think most of the players they're here for the whole weekend, so playing through till 11 o'clock. It's not a drama, and the men obviously get the advantage of starting a wee bit later tomorrow at about 12:40, I think. So they get a bit of a sleep in, and
yeah, they didn't have to start till what 3 o'clock today.
yeah, it was probably about 3:30ish this afternoon.
Shot, mate. Well played.
And the ladies will be back again in the morning to start at 8 o'clock.
Take them all.
I think it's been that way every tournament of this championship.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The ladies have
Yeah.
started early and the men have started late.
Might swap around next year, you reckon?
Well, I did ask a couple of the Bowls New Zealand managers just when we were talking, and they said, well, they're a bit concerned about the ladies having to leave some of the clubs on their own
Yeah, well, it's a fair point.
after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, fair
So
point. Yep.
Good line, mate. Come on. Yep.
So Martinborough, the only team not to have a win yet, is out to a reasonable lead early on in the game. So they're in survival mode straight away.
We should be getting some progress scores shortly. Of the other rinks, so hopefully we'll get them very soon.
Yeah, mate. Probably just the one. Draw there. You want that much on your last? You can be tight. Don't need to go wide.
The left side rink looks, here they are. Here's Steve Beale bringing us the progress scores that we just asked for.
Thanks, Steve. So after on rank 3, we've got Paratutu from Taranaki. They are 4-2 up over Cooper's Beach from the far north. That's after 5 ends. On rank 4, we've got Paraparaumu. They're currently down 6-1 to Aotearoa from Hawke's Bay. That's after 4 ends.
They need to get moving because they lost their previous game.
Oh, yeah. So that's Ray. I think Ray needs to get a move on. On rank 5, we've got Riverhead from North Harbour. They are currently down 10-3 after 5 against Hillcrest from the Waikato. Point Chev 3-1 up over Arapahoe after 3 ends. And Petone are up 6-3 over Club Papanui, and that's after 4 ends.
And we'll have a further update in about another 4 ends time.
Well played there, Thank you. Well played, boy. Good stuff.
And we've just seen a good draw bowl here from on the Wanganui Manurewa rink.
Look like Shane Drabble, I reckon, at the Orange Bowls.
Yep.
This is Michael O'Leary, the third from Wanganui. Just pinching his line a wee bit. The weight looks okay, but
It wouldn't have been too bad if the kid had still been on the centre line,
Yeah.
but it's moved out quite a way.
yeah, it's a tricky one sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes you just
You're trying to hit this hole.
you want to move your line just a touch, and but you've been playing a certain line all the way through.
One down to that.
So let's see if Shane Drabble can replicate what he did with his first bowl.
Hey, better wait, would have been good. Good wait.
Pretty quick on the mat there, Michael O'Leary from Wanganui. Better line here. They're going to drop enough.
It's one of the things you notice about the Australian bowls. If you watch the BPL, the amount of time that the good players spend on the mat is very minimal. They make up their mind.
Yeah,
They're down with their delivery and it's on its way.
absolutely. The Australian way is very quick, isn't it? And they're very quick at playing, on the mat. Whereas the New Zealand way, I suppose we call it, as you can see, Dave Clark here from Manurewa, nice and deliberate, always pointing in the feet the right direction and trying to get that smooth delivery.
It's one of the things about delivering your bowl and making sure you're consistent, that you do have the same every time if
Absolutely.
you can.
Yep. Yeah, and if it just depends on the motion, how quick you're going to go, and pretty good bowl here from Glen Springer. Oh, yeah, it's a top shot.
Beauty.
That is a great shot. 2 down to possibly 2 up now.
Looks like it, doesn't it? That front bowl, the green bowl with the white sides, maybe in the count. Dave Clark asking, is it 2 down?
A couple of thumbs up there from Glen. He was happy with it. You can see, as we were speaking about the New Zealand way, they're just getting those feet correct. Dave Clark.
And what's your program tomorrow for your last 2 games? 2 in a row? Would you get a...
Yeah, we got 2 in a row. Let's That's a pretty good bowl there from Dave Clark. Is it going to
Very
fall
good.
in for shot? Maybe not. Yeah, 2 in a row. So we got Point Chevalier at 12:40, and then we've got the Tolaga Bay boys at 3 o'clock. So I'm sure, regardless of the result, we'll have a sit down with the Tolaga Bay boys and have a beer and have a yarn and a laugh.
Yes, and with one round less to play tomorrow, we'll be out of here a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that if you've got 20 or under teams, you can get through it in 5 rounds.
That's right. Yep.
If it's more than 20, it takes 6 rounds, and unfortunately we had one default on the men's, but it was not notified. Well, obviously couldn't be notified because they didn't know the travel arrangements would be disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
But if we'd had the opportunity, we could have redone the draw and got through in 5 rounds as well. But not possible when that's that late.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately the big weather event in the centre of the country there yesterday really did disrupt, you know, a lot of travel for a lot of people. Talking to the Dunedin men from Kaikorai there, you know, they were very jaded when they got here and travelling, you know, by car from Taupo, and you know, not a massive car to stretch your legs out in either. So
yeah, well, I saw a bit on the news tonight when I was having a break and showing Wellington yesterday with a yacht smashed onto the road around at Lowry Bay, and showed some of the planes on the on the airport today, and I wouldn't want to be flying them. Thank you very much. Here we go. We have a check on the length of the kitty on the right-hand side rink, needing to be 23 metres up from the front edge of that mat. If it's not, it'll come back to be rethrown. If it is, it'll be played. Here comes the umpire.
yeah, critical part of the game, especially in 4s, throwing the jack. And it's up by the looks of that.
Yeah, I think he called it up. Yep.
Yeah, critical part of the game, throwing the jack. In any game of bowls, but especially in 4s, you know, if you can get your lead to deliver the jack and deliver his 2 bowls or her bowls, you know, to the same spot, it's a massive advantage.
Yes, it's a very important game that the leads get the start for you, because if they don't, your team's the one that's under pressure as you go up through the players.
That's right, yep.
Just looking at that head between Tolaga Bay and Martinborough, there's a lot of short bowls up there.
There is. Tolaga Bay skip comes roaring down there and pushes one of his own bowls onto the jack. Possibly a wee bit lucky, but we take them all, don't we?
Well, we sometimes get them, and sometimes we just have to grin and bear it when they go against us. But
exactly,
it goes around, doesn't it? You don't always miss out on the luck. You get some yourself from time to time. Just always seems to me that I don't get as much as some of the others.
I reckon it might have been 2 there for the Tolaga Bay gentlemen.
Could well have been. Well, if it was, that'll even that game up a bit. Tolaga Bay were 3 behind, so they'll come up to 1 behind. And on the other rink, we have a tight game with 6 shots scored after 4 ends, 3 each. Yep, 3-4 I can see on the board now after 5. As we said, the team with the black discs are on the red on the scoreboard, and the teams on the white disc bowls are on the green on the scoreboard. So Tolaga Bay scored 2 that last end.
Play 2 Rogers bowl, not the jack. Play the Rogers bowl here.
So the crowd's thinned out a wee bit up by the bar area.
You know, it's gone a little quieter than the previous game. Good to see those. Good support for the teams that are here.
Yeah, it was great. Like when we played our second round game there, you know, there's a lot of chatter and a lot of yahooing and a lot of yelling and
cheering.
Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant. It's you know, it's sometimes we get stuck into our ways of being a sedate wee little country sport, but
and almost demanding quiet.
Yes, exactly. But I enjoy the rowdiness of it, and it shows that people are enjoying themselves, and we want to make bowling clubs, you know, inclusive and to everyone. You know, and if they like having a drink or having a laugh, and you know, that's what we want to encourage, isn't it?
Yep, and I think Bowls New Zealand's promotion of the shorter games like the 3-5.
Yep.
It's helped clubs immensely.
Oh, absolutely it has. Absolutely.
And if clubs are prepared to cater for their old-time bowlers like me that still like to play the traditional long games and the short-termers, they'll get on well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a real need for the traditional game to stay. Yep. You know, like the likes of the Commonwealth Games, for example. You know, like they're playing for the whole 2 weeks, and the Taranaki Open, you know, they still have the 25 end games, and it's not for everyone.
Nope.
But I think you know, centres and clubs that have that for the players it's great. It really is. And the shorter version is fantastic. Great TV spectacle. You know, Bowls 3-5. As you mentioned earlier, the PPL over in Australia, and you know, it's fantastic for the whole setup of the game of lawn bowls.
And now the ultimate bowls, which is different again, when
It
they
is.
score right up through the heads, and
Yeah.
who's got the shot after the first player plays, and
Absolutely.
every toucher scores points. And
Which is great, you know, and the likes of, you know, there's the live streaming now. I know our centre in Southland have, you know, we've brought live streaming gear and try and live stream as many championship finals as we can.
Yep.
Just to get the sport out there, and you know, it's great for the sponsors. You know, like our sponsors here, Somerset, you know, the name branded on the video screen and on the screens behind, and it's great for the sponsors. It really is.
Yep, and it's great for the clubs too, because it gets the casual players in that want to just play the 6 weeks.
Yep.
And we don't turn heaps of them into full-time members, but they come back year after year to play that 6-week program, and they get involved as well as social members. They can come in and have a drink any time and
And I
support
think
the club.
And it also is just sowing the seed, isn't it? It's that you're not going to pick them up that year or the next 2 or 3 years, but you know, when the kids leave home and you know, they've finished work or they've retired, then you know, they might think to themselves, you know what, that game of bowls I had, you know, for those 6-week period was fantastic. I might want to get more involved in that.
And it's great to see the secondary school competition come back this year too,
Yes.
because previously it had missed for 2 or 3 years. Then the kids may not continue on straight after secondary school, but they've got that seed planted.
Absolutely. And I was one of those. I started playing when I was 16 and finished when I was about 18. But you know, being a young fella, I had other things to chase and do. But I came back to the game.
Yep.
And I think that's a lot of those kids that play in that secondary school stuff. That's what will happen to them. They'll always be involved somewhere along the line.
Well, Claire Hendra at our club started through secondary schools, and of course she's one of the 2 women's reserves for the Commonwealth Games this year. And I think it's a sport that's still got a reputation for being for the older people, but you need to start earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we've got a 13-year-old girl at our club. Just so happens to be my daughter, but that's probably because she gets dragged down to watch Dad, and my wife plays as well. But you know, like we don't expect her to play every weekend or you know, try and be a world beater. But it's just a great sport for young people to get involved in. You learn to speak to adults, which is fantastic. Yeah, so you know, they're and she can disappear and come back to it if she wants to. So, looks like
I always relate the story of Seamus Curtin, who's done well over recent years, and he's about 23 now, but Silverstream Bowling Club in Wellington have a first-year invitation singles every year where we invite all the clubs from around the district to put some entries in, and Seamus won that at age 10.
Wow.
So he's always had the potential right from a very young age.
He is, yeah. I think Manurewa just picked up a decent number there. Looks like they picked up a 5.
And those are the heads that make a difference.
Absolutely, as I found out in round 2.
Well, Ray Boffa dropped a 6 in round 2 as well, and that was about the difference at the end.
Yes, yep.
It's not always sensible to try for a shot when you're a lot down. Sometimes if you can halve the damage or
Yes,
get
exactly.
second shot.
Yeah, dead right. Dead right. Looks like Tolaga Bay have got the shot with the crossover.
Yep, and black disc bowl on there. In fact, the white disc bowls there's only one close.
Yeah, it's reasonably vulnerable, isn't it? If
It's just a bit.
you know, if Vern Marshall can find a wee gap through there and sit that orange bowl, they could be sitting there with a good number.
And Manurewa have started with a couple of good bowls again on this end, having just scored that 5.
Yeah, Roger Andrew from Manurewa, he's those blue and white bowls have been hunting around the jack for most of the afternoon, I think.
Yes, and as we said earlier, if your lead's going well,
Yeah, it makes it a heck of a lot easier, doesn't it?
big difference.
So Vern Marshall there from Tolaga Bay, he played with probably the right weight to sit that orange bowl out, but just missed his line a wee bit.
Garry Muriwai will be keen to get another one in the vicinity, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's plenty of instruction from the head for Garry.
Got a couple of steps to see how it's going. Looks to be somewhere in the area.
Absolutely. Is it going to break under that black disc bowl? It's going to get it full and probably turn it over for second shot.
However, he's cut out the possibility of big numbers.
He has, yeah, he has indeed. And he's probably got a nice wee shot there, depending on what Vern does.
Yep.
A nice wee shot to wee little attack and get an edge of a bowl there, and things can happen there.
If he can turn that bowl he turned up last bowl, it might just move that kitty out to that orange bowl.
I'll tell you what, Marshall's got other ideas here though, and he's well, it's still
Still
on.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
still on there for Garry.
So he's only one down, so Mark O'Brien with the yellow and black shoes.
Very striking, aren't they?
They are.
Very striking. Let's see what Garry can do here. Playing with weight.
Yeah, interesting.
Is it going to hold? Oh, I think, is he? Oh, well, yeah.
Could have got one out of it.
I think the black disc bowl might be just hanging on. I think that was Garry Muriwai's first bowl. Round the back.
Two or three of them standing over it, trying to
Everyone's getting a look in here. Looks like the black disc bowl to me, but on that angle she looks a bit tighter. One to the big boys,
One
says
to
the
Tolaga Bay,
Tolaga Bay.
Yep.
That ties it up.
You go, Hayden Frew went to hand the jack to the lead for Tolaga Bay, who's just indicated to put it on the deck because he'll pick it up with the arm.
Yep, good idea. As the West End boys from Timaru heading away.
Manurewa with the white disc bowls had a few before that one came in.
Yeah, a bit of a
From the Wanganui 3.
slice of heaven there from Michael O'Leary.
Bit of a helpful wick, wasn't it?
It was a wee bit. But the Manurewa team, they've, you know, after picking up that 5, the lead, and the second, Logan Clark, Roger Andrew, the lead, they've peppered that jack. So only being 1 down is a good result here, and it probably gives Dave Clark
An opportunity to lift it out.
Press that bowl out and sit there for 3.
We're getting towards the halfway mark with both games on the 7th end.
Just going to drop enough for Dave Clark. He's got the jack. It's probably going to spit it out.
Looks like it's gone out. That's the second kill on that rink, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, he had a couple of options here, didn't he? Sit the bowl and you get the jack clean. If he got the jack clean, it probably would have gone all the way through into the ditch, but he got the outside of the jack and killed it. So he just had to play the right line and pick his weight, and he played it pretty well.
He didn't have excessive weight. If he got the bowl, he wouldn't have gone far away.
No, that's right. He probably would have counted.
Yep.
So George Tamihana on rink 1 there from Tolaga Bay has drawn a pretty handy bowl.
Dropped the second one a bit short, but the first one's a beauty.
Yep. As those leads would say, that we've already done my job, I don't have to do it twice.
And as the skip would say, well, if you're going to be that far away, be behind.
That's exactly right. Pretty reasonable reply
from
there
Hayden.
from Hayden, just a touch short.
Ben Elkington playing his bowl down the backhand.
Yeah, pretty handy. Probably second shot there for Ben.
It was down the forehand, not the backhand. Looked like he was pointing down.
It did look like he was standing on the
Backhand,
backhand, didn't it? Yeah.
So after this game tonight finishes, some of these teams will have played 3 rounds. We may have early qualifiers. As I understand, we have 3 and the women's already through, so after their first 3 rounds.
Top shot there from Scott MacKenzie. Took the toucher and might have stuck around for the shot.
Yep. Gets a stroke of the coloured pen. Long gone are the days of white chalk.
Absolutely. So when I started playing, you had a choice of Henselite, and they were black or brown.
Yeah.
And now you've got 4 or 5 different manufacturers, and
there weren't many brown ones either. They were mainly black.
That's right.
People complain now about, oh, they've got the same colours. How do we pick the shot? Well, when we all played with black, you had to know the emblems.
That's exactly right. And it happened for a good 100 odd years before that, didn't it?
One of the things that came in for a while and now seems to be disappearing is the use of decals on the bowls. We don't seem to have as many, other than these sort of events where they're putting them on for television.
Well, no, in rep events, a lot of the teams are wearing, putting them on.
But
for the rep
not
teams.
in general play.
Yeah, there's not a lot of clubs anymore that have their own stickers or anything like that. And
it's interesting because last week in the triples, Linda Ralph from Carlton Cornwall played 3 wrong biases before she realised one of the decals had been put on by a teammate on the wrong side.
Yeah, well, that's that would be cause for debate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Must have been all right though, because they did end up winning the lot. So
Yep.
only needed 5 bowls instead of the 6.
Roger Andrews from Manurewa was holding shot till that last bowl came in.
Yeah, Logan Clark played a... Robbie Savage played a beauty there. Bit of speed here from Manurewa.
Oh no, I thought he had that coming through that gap, but underneath.
Well, they have got 4 seconds there.
Marcus Merrick just looking down at his skip, querying what he's going to play. He's on the mat now.
Just looking at the Wanganui Manurewa game here, I think Shane Drabble might be having another crack at that bowl. That's it with 4 seconds. He is.
He is.
Be closer this time.
Nope, but he could do some damage.
Oh. Still got 4 seconds.
Just a different one.
So Glen Springer from Wanganui just desperately needs another bowl on the head, really, doesn't he?
He does, and he's looking to cover it by coming round amongst the white disc bowls. He's looking with interest. It's obviously on its way, and he's cool, good boy, so it must be coming in close. Here it comes.
Said that, yeah, that's a good shot.
A good bowl.
That's a good shot. Just eliminates that
big
shot.
count.
Yeah, absolutely. Eliminates, you know, Dave, he might still go for a run shot on that blue bowl with the black disc, but, you know, it's not worth as much as the previous, and so he's probably just looks to draw it off and
drag it to the
to
the lead bowl.
Roger Andrews' bowl.
So weighted bowl just come through there from...
We've got Marcus, I think, Marcus Merrick from Tolaga Bay. Oh, he's got a wee shot. That's a great shot from Dave Clark. Got the inside edge of the shot bowl of Wanganui and probably sit there for 1, possibly 2.
Shows the value of that last bowl played by the Wanganui team, because before that it would have been 4 if he got that shot.
Correct, yeah. Played with nice weight, Dave, there, didn't he? He wasn't quick, and nice controlled weight. And
here's a pretty reasonable bowl from Mark O'Brien, just shy. It looks like Mark's got 1 sitting on the head, and they may have a second bowl with the second shot with the orange bowl sitting just to 11 o'clock of the, as we look at the left rink.
Glen Springer from Wanganui just played an absolute hummer there. He's right in front of the jack, 1 or 2 down. Just told Dave Clark, do you try and do that again, pal, and see how you go. Is it going to hold around that blue bowl? He's not far away here, Dave.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's a sensational effort.
Didn't only hold around the blue bowl, it held around the shot too. It didn't break, did it?
It didn't. I thought it would, you know, as soon as it got to that blue bowl short, I thought it would have ducked onto that shot bowl. He's in the zone again here, Glen Springer, I think.
Yep, there he comes.
Oh, that's 2 really good bowls under pressure. Possibly, it might only be 1.
Looks like it's only 1.
It's only the 1. 2 good bowls there from Glen Springer. So what's Vern Marshall going to do here, Dave? He's playing on his forehand.
Martinborough might have a couple of shots on that.
Yeah, it looks that way. I don't think he's quite here, unfortunately, Marshall.
Mark O'Brien could just about stand behind the kitty and hold it with those yellow, hide it and hold with those yellow shoes.
They are bright, aren't they?
They are.
He needs to buy a good set of yellow bowls to go with, match them, I think.
That's one of the features of playing on an artificial carpet or Astro Green, that we use a heavier jack.
Yes, yeah.
And a different colour jack than the traditional white jacks.
Yeah, the lightweight jacks, especially on the carpet, can ping and
Really
fly and be a bit uncontrollable.
Here we go with Roger Andrews starting with a
Pretty
really good bowl again. Mind you, the reply's not far away either.
Just on the outside, great effort. Alan Springer.
Vern Marshall on the mat again.
Let's see what he can do here. He's got to play probably another 2 metres of weight to change something here. It just looks on the high side to me.
Yep, that weight he won't come back quick enough. So obviously Martinborough holding, but how many?
Pretty tough for
Garry to add to it.
To add to it, really. There's a lot of traffic in the way. Looks like he's...
having a little run at something.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
No damage.
That might have been a good miss there from Garry. So they kick one out, and they'll have a measure for the second.
For the second, yep.
Here, come here, mate. Got a couple. Draw there.
I'm interested if he was playing, if he was really genuinely playing an attacking shot there.
Yeah.
And his holding shot in such a close game. Hayden Frew waited for the measure to be finished. He's got the mat down. He's just waiting to get the jack when the measure's finished. I think that was a signal 1, was it?
It is 2, I think.
2 that time, yep. Puts Martinborough into a 6-4 lead. We're now playing 8th end.
Ray Savage is close here.
Very close.
That's a good shot. Very good shot. Snuck around the blue bowl. Took out the shot bowl.
Yep, you play down there, but I want you to push that shot bowl through to here, right? So you're really tight on this bowl, and you play...
And do you play many bowls in the winter time of the off-season down there?
Not a heck of a lot, Dave. We do have our indoor arena in Invercargill at the Waverley Bowling Club. They pretty much have tournaments every
weekend,
every week and every weekday. That's a great shot there from Logan Clark, I think, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was a great shot. Yeah, look, they have tournaments every evening and every weekend, and the PBA plays there as well. But I tend to. I've got a couple of kids, and summer's my time, and winter's their time to play sport, and so I do a bit of running around with them, and obviously practiced a wee bit before coming up here. But yeah, gone are the days where we're just a summer sport, isn't it? We're an all-round sport now, and that's a top bowl there from Shane Drabble.
Absolute cracker, wasn't it?
And, we've got facilities like this at Nainai, and, there's plenty of covered rinks in Auckland now. The Dunedin Stadium, one in Invercargill at Waverley Bowling Club, so there's plenty of opportunity just to play bowls all year round. And
Pukekohe in Auckland, Frankton in the Waikato Centre.
That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Frankton's closed down now.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, which is disappointing, because it was such a fantastic facility.
And this rink this green we're playing on today is about 4 metres shorter than last week, where we played at Nainai, and those are big rinks down there. That's 40 metres square.
40 metres, weren't they? Yeah. Yep.
Takes an awfully long time to vacuum the carpet.
Yeah, I'll let someone else do that, I think. Dave? So just looking at the Wanganui Manurewa game here on the right, there's a wee shot here for Glen Springer. Is he going to look at just drawing it? He's probably 3 down, possibly 4, or is he going to go down the middle there, Dave? What do you think he's going to do here?
I'm not sure. I don't think he's quite sure himself yet. He just flipped the bowl over in his hand. So,
it looks like he's lining up to have a wee
niggle
go
down the back
yep,
end. Yes, he is.
Oh, it's wide.
He knew it early too because you heard the groan.
Yeah, he did. So again, it's one of those ones where you've got 3 or 4 down. Do you just try and draw for second shot or third shot just to try and
cut the damage?
Cut the damage, but you know, there's a lot of bowls in the front of the cat there that are probably in his line there, so. Dave looks like he's trying to add to the count here, and if he gets past that orange bowl with the black disc, he's done it, I think. So I don't think Glen's got much option here but to have a crack at it again, I think.
He looks like he's having fought back because Manurewa haven't scored since they got the last 5.
That's right.
And they're possibly holding 5 again here, so
Like
2 big ends could change the game well and truly.
He's on the draw. You can get on the inside edge of Dave Clark's bowl. He's just going to get on the outside.
No, he got on the outside.
And he's probably pushed Dave Clark's bowl across.
I wonder why he changed hands there, because that looked very tough to draw the shot.
Look, if it was me, Dave, I probably would have had another crack down the middle.
Yep.
And if you got the front blue one in front of the jack there, you know, you're disrupting it. You might have killed it. But, you know, Glen thought he could draw around it and just get on the... All he had to do was get on the inside edge of Dave's bowl and he would have probably cut it down by about 2 or 3.
Touch on the jack is real good. Touch on the jack is real good. Yep.
So I think Manurewa are going to have a number here.
Depends how close that front orange bowl is with the black disc.
Taken 3 out already.
Looks like the 4th one's the white one at the back from here, doesn't it? But no, must have been 3.
Kick them a 4 by the sounds of it.
4 conceded without taking it out then. Manurewa going up in big numbers. Wanganui winning more ends, but only going up in small numbers.
Yeah, that's right. And in any game of bowls, if you can pick up a good number, you know, you're always ahead of the game, aren't you?
Yep. Looks like Tolaga Bay holding shot on the against Martinborough. Holding 1 by the look of it with a black bowl at 2 o'clock as we'd look at the jack.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Elkington's bowl, the purple bowl.
Had an interesting occurrence in the game before where we saw a bowl hit the tripod of the...
Yeah, I did look over there. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
I got given back, but Ray Boffer obviously didn't think it was going to do any good, so when he got it back, he threw it away. Good sportsmanship.
Absolutely. Good bowl here from Garry Muriwai. Oh, that's a beauty.
Another good bowl from Roger.
Roger. Those blue and white bowls, they're going very, very well, aren't they?
Certainly are.
Yep.
Got to say, I much prefer the multicoloured bowls in that pattern as opposed to
the other way.
The ones that go over an end and just about drive you nuts with 3 different colours coming at you.
That's right. You don't want a heavy night on the jars, do you? No. Watching that in the morning, you tend to the old eyesight and the brain don't really compute at that time of the morning.
Push that bowl a metre. If it turns to the shot, it's okay. Draw to there.
Wanganui lead. Alan Springer's left a couple of short ones here. not too bad with one of them, but the second one's well shy.
Oh, Vern Marshall just drew a beauty for Tolaga Bay. I'm not sure. 2 down is a call from
Mark O'Brien.
Mark O'Brien. Nice little drag of the cat here for Garry Muriwai would be very nice and very beneficial for Martinborough. Started off in the right zone anyway.
It looks like he's going to hit something in that area.
Oh, yeah, well.
Don't know if he's got a result out of that or
He
not.
gave it a chance though, didn't he? Just a touch over his grasp, but
Must be closer than it looks to us because they're having a look at it with the old finger measure.
yeah, I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm no good at that.
Nor am I.
I'm terrible.
I never even tried. I rely on my eye. There are a lot of people around that are very confident with their finger measures, and at times when I wouldn't concede a shot and they say, no, that's one to you.
Yeah, well, we got a gentleman down in Southland, we call him Pork Chop, but Brent Thompson, he's very, very good at it. I'd trust him with my life to do it, but when he asked me to do it, I just shy away. I'm no good.
Looks like Vern Marshall's just played the last bowl on that end. There's nobody left there. Comes Steve Beale with some progress scores for us. Thanks, Steve. We'll just see what the situation is on this. 1 down, so 1 to Tolaga Bay, 6-5. So Steve's just brought me some updated scores, where we have Paratutu playing Cooper's Beach with Paratutu ahead 8-5 after 9. On rink 4 we have Omaranui playing Paraparam, and it's 9-8 to Omaranui after 9. On rink 5, where Riverhead are playing Hillcrest. Hillcrest lead by 14-9 after 10. Point Chevalier from Auckland lead the Arapaoas, I think, by 9-2 after 8. And Petone lead Club Papanui by 11-5 after 8. So that's our update at that stage. We should get one more before the end of the game, hopefully. We'll just look at the Wanganui Manurewa game, where we have looks like a bit of a run shot just to push through the head here. It's gone a bit narrow. Manurewa are holding a couple of shots with the white disc bowls.
Just nice and tight, back to here is good.
George Tamihana from Tolaga Bay has played his first one. It's pretty close. Hayden Frew just delivering his first bowl on the end. Hayden looks to be replying pretty well here. Just going to hit George's bowl and wick off and come up behind the kitty, probably for shot. Will Wanganui have another shot at this up the centre when the skips get down there? There we go, Dave Clark picks up his bowl.
Play that draw with confidence.
Yep, looks like he's having a run at that.
One down, if you touch yours,
Watching it with interest. Here it comes.
Top shot. Top shot.
Great bowl into the drain. Kitty and bowl close together. Glen Springer striding back up to the other end with a smile on his face.
It's those conversion shots that have really helped Manurewa. They're just making those conversion shots when unfortunately Wanganui probably have been wee bit lacking in those ones.
Yep.
Pretty good hit over there on the Tolaga Bay Martinborough rink.
Yep. Just look at that other rink. I wonder how many shots there are there, because there's definitely the one in the drain.
Yeah, I think they quite possibly have the closest one on the...
I thought that as well.
On the rink. Yep, there it is. So quite possibly 2 for Manurewa.
Yep. Another bowl breaking towards the head, will just be in behind on the...
Yeah, good spot for Tolaga Bay too, and
Yep.
looks like there could be another counter there from Dave Clark from Manurewa. So possibly sitting there with 3. Big bowl here for Glen Springer.
I'd say fairly important he draws a shot here, because the gap's starting to open. 2 or 3 here would make it a big gap. Scott MacKenzie on the Tolaga Bay Martinborough rink delivers his bowl. Coming in towards the head. Tip the blue bowl over onto the jack, and I would say probably 2 up.
Good shot that.
Yep, well played.
Well, I think Glen Springer just played a very, very good bowl here. They're going to have a measure. You always tend to favour the bowl
one
in the
in the
ditch.
drain, yeah.
But he was 3 down, and he's
Getting the measure for first, probably.
yeah. So that's a great effort.
And if you haven't seen this done before, the bowl in the drain, you have to use the measure the other way to get it over the lip.
Yeah, it's a very good shot from Glen Springer. 3 down
To 1 down.
to 1 down. So
Yep.
just minimising the damage. Still a steep hill to climb for Wanganui. 13-6, but you know, it would have been disastrous if all of a sudden it was 15-16-6.
Scott MacKenzie delivering his second bowl. Watching it with interest. There's one danger bowl in the middle of there too, by the look of it. But
Well, he played a cracker the last time, didn't he? Got the bowls and flipped them over, and Wairarapa sitting there with 1. And Roger,
Merrick standing on the mat looking inquiringly down to see what he's going to be called to do.
and on the other rink, Roger Andrew just keeps doing what he does and throws those blue
Absolutely.
and white things pretty close to the jack.
Comes a reply from Alan Springer that doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah, no, that's a fair effort, that.
6 inches.
Must be into about the last 40 minutes of the game now. The time limit. So I don't know that either side will quite make it through. You never know.
Top shot, mate.
Another great bowl on the
Yeah, Roger, he's... you
Roger
know,
Andrew, just
he
consistently doing it, isn't he?
He is, and that's fantastic lead bowls. I mean, you throw the jack, you want your 2 bowls as close as you can get, and that just set, as we said earlier, Dave, that just sets up the head for your team, and you know, there's no pressure then on the 2. He can,
Yep.
the skip can ask him to play a shot, and it's Dave is here, just get to the red, and if you get inside the red, you add to the count.
Gives them to build up ahead where the other team has to chase all the time. Have to play shots to get shot rather than build behind or to get a good score up. Doesn't look a mile away here.
Just got the
Just got the
outside,
wrong edge.
yeah, and the inside edge instead of the outside edge. The outside edge, he probably would have flopped in for shot. But, you know, nice and close now, so they can...
Set up for a good split shot, and
Absolutely.
Ray Savage delivering it.
That's what he's looking at too, isn't he? Has he got the weight to hold on that line? I don't think so.
No.
And, you know, like when a lead like Roger Andrew is going good, you know, Alan Springer, has done exactly what his skip would like here, a bowl over the head. So then you can actually not attack the head, but make, you know, play through the head and make sure that you're playing positively through the head and you've got catches behind there.
Real good. Well played.
Merrick just took out one of the 2 shots that were against him.
Logan Clark's actually played a good bowl there, just pushed the bowl of Roger Andrews through the head to sit behind the jack. Manurewa look like they're holding 3. Ray trying to play with a touch. More weight. Well, yeah.
Open it up if nothing else.
Yeah. Plenty of opportunity for Michael O'Leary and Glen Springer to really play through that head, and they've got the bowls out on the left-hand side as a catch.
Again, they're probably 4 down at the moment.
I think Glen Springer's asking O'Leary to have a wee go at this.
Niggle on the inside.
Niggle on the forehand. Tilt to the head from Michael. Is it going to hold a wee bit longer? Miss the blueies a chance. Well, that's a good result. Probably only 1 down now.
Down now, yep.
Opens that other hand for Wanganui too, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Yeah, they've got a couple of catches on that left-hand side.
We've got one. Sitting any of their bowls with a metre of weight is good, okay?
Vern Marshall just caught off a front bowl and round the whole head.
Draw down there confidently into these bowls.
Looks like Martinborough might have 2 to the side there.
Yeah, the 2 light bowls
Yep.
of Mark O'Brien look like they've got the shot, but as you said earlier, David, it can be quite quite tricky on the camera angles.
Yep. It's always interests me in the Aussie stuff. They get down and the umpire gets down and does the measure, and nowhere near what I think it is.
Yeah.
And I see earlier in the year, though, or a few weeks ago, in one of the competitions they were televising, the umpires are now using lasers to measure.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
What did you think of it? I thought it was a very slow process by the time they put that little shield up. And
It did seem to drag on a wee bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think, look, if you've got a measure in your pocket, just get down and get into it, and you know, you generally got a good idea anyway. It's only the really, really tight ones that, you know, you might need to do stuff with, but
nobody gets the chance to see what's going on with the laser either.
no, that's right. Yep.
Just the umpire sees it and just points to the bowl that's the shot.
There. Yeah, up on wide.
A big bowl here for Vern Marshall. Looks like he's got the weight to get to the jack, has he? And I think he has.
Get out of the way, Marcus.
Oh, just falling a touch short, I think. But it could be shot.
Get a call in a minute. Garry's down having a look at the head. It's going down the forehand side again.
Yeah, no real indication of who has the shot there.
No.
I still favour the light blue bowls of Mark O'Brien.
Dave Clark on his way. Round the back of the head. Reaching those 2 black bowls, splitting them.
Well, with that type of weight, they might think that they're down, but they've got the bowls on the right-hand side. Manurewa, if he got the inside edge of that orange bowl and jack over to those bowls, he'd be sitting with another number. As Garry just comes up a touch short.
A bit more than a touch.
I was being kind to the man. Martinborough definitely
Scored, but how many was it? 1 or 2?
Oh, great shot there. Glen Springer pushed the orange bowl over, so it's definitely the shot now.
Still sitting his last bowl is okay.
So Shane Drabble just asking Dave Clark to really just touch the outside edge of that orange bowl, and hopefully the jack will spring over to the 3 Manurewa bowls, but he's just on the high side.
Wide, yep.
Hayden Frew with a good opener for Martinborough. Looks like they've got 2 there to make it 8-5.
Kitty's been picked out there. I don't know what the indication of the score was.
I think she was only the single there for
Looks like it,
Wanganui.
yeah. So that'll make it 13-7, and we'll be playing 11, so 5 ends to play.
You play another one.
It's quite interesting with the players being mic'd up now. You do hear the conversations, and you know,
Yep.
especially when teams aren't not used to playing each other. You know, asking them about their clubs and what they do, and what their job is, and Hayden follows up his toucher with a not so
Good second one.
bowl. Let's see what George Tamihana can do. He's pointing it in the right direction as he got the speed to drop onto the shot bowl. Just going to miss it on the outside edge.
There's a few new experiences for the players playing in this. One with the live streaming and 2 for the ones that get mic'd up. Not used to that, have to watch what they say.
Yeah, look, I was probably guilty of saying some different things in the first game.
Players seem to quite enjoy the TV rink getting filmed. We had a game in the triples at 9 last week that both teams were out, but they wanted to play.
Right, yes, yep. Oh, look, it's fantastic. We had a great response from people all over Southland after our game earlier this afternoon, and you know, the messages coming through saying, hey, look, you know, you guys look good, or you didn't look so good, and yeah, I think it's fantastic. It really you know, brings people who necessarily aren't into the game of bowls to, hey, I know that bloke, I'll watch him, or I know that lady, I'll watch them. So yeah, it's great. It's very, very good.
What about after the second game?
Oh, I thought we weren't going to talk about that, Dave, but yeah, no, after the second game was, yeah, unfortunately we...
Had some different responses?
Yeah, different responses, and it's probably a good thing I'm in here and the rest of the team are out there.
No, well, you got 2 chances tomorrow to
Yeah,
make
that's
up for
right,
it.
and that's we had a yarn about it, and look, it happens. You don't want it to happen at this level, but just as Steve Hansen once said, you just got to flush the dunny and move on.
Yep, absolutely. I heard Kevin Hickland saying during that last game when he was commentating that he thought your team was probably the team to watch after your TV game. So,
so I'll blame that on Kevin jinxing us. So I'll have a word to him later on. But no, yeah, well, we played very well in the first game, and yeah, we played well in the second game too. But just a really bad last end, bad last couple of ends to be fair. But you know, the boys they'll go home and we'll sulk about it for an hour or two, and then
be right for tomorrow.
That's right, and that's the measure of good players, is how they bounce back. And I know my boys, Brian, Dan, and Turtle, they'll strike back. They're good players, and they'll do all in their power to make it better tomorrow. So Martinborough holding a few shots here. Tolaga Bay look like they don't have a bowl on the rink.
Certainly nothing in that picture, is there?
There's not. There's a wee shadow on the right-hand side, might be their closest bowl, Tolaga Bay. But this is a great opportunity for Ben Elkington to just draw a nice, handy bowl, even if it's third shot. It's not far away either.
think we're already past Ben, are we?
Are we on to Marcus? Or whoever it is.
Played it well.
Played it well, yeah, absolutely. That's a great bowl. I think you might be right. That might be Marcus. That's a good shot.
It looks more black than purple, doesn't it?
Well, she's late in the evening, Dave.
Yeah.
Forehand push there, bowl through, mate. Meter off. Very good.
Mark O'Brien swinging one in behind the head.
Yeah, good spot that from Mark. You know, Tolaga Bay, they're 3 behind with 4 or 5 to play. They've probably got to start making things happen, and a bowl behind the head for Martinborough is golden there at the moment.
Yeah, Tolaga Bay would be lucky to get a shot out of that without moving the jack, I think.
Interesting dynamic, isn't it? We're playing reasonably late in the evening, and you know, we're not used to playing bowls at the late in the evening.
No, it's dead right.
And so it'd be interesting just to see how you know, the players react. Close here. Yeah, good shot. Good shot there from Marcus.
Here's the cry from the skip. 1 down, well played.
You know, it'll come down to, you know, guys who have hydrated well all day.
Yep.
And have had, you know, eaten regularly, and it'll come down to that, especially in the Tolaga Bay Martinborough game, which is a wee bit closer. You know, those little things, hydration and you know, food is a massive part of the game now.
Yeah, all these teams had a game in the first round of the men's stuff, then all had a bye, now they're all back out again.
So that you'd think that they had a bite to eat. And,
you'd hope so.
And drunk plenty of water. May have been a few fizzy ones involved, I'm sure, but...
Flavoured water.
Flavoured water.
It's Glen Springer on the mat.
Yeah, so Wanganui need to make a wee bit of a move here, don't they?
They do.
Possibly have the shot with the front orange. If he clears that one, he'll be close, but unfortunately just misses it.
Yeah, the bowl's sitting on its back like that, it's hard to see what the disc is on it. But it definitely looks like pairing them off, it looks like it's a black disc bowl, so I think you're right. They hold 1. That head over there in the Tolaga Bay, Martinborough has turned around now since we talked about it. Where we could only see one Tolaga Bay bowl in the shadow right out on the side. There's now a couple of reasonably compact ones. Glen Springer plays his second bowl down this head. Swinging in towards the head just inside his previous one. Not going to quite make it though.
Still there, Clarky. Your weight's good. Weight's okay.
Manurewa skip just been called on by his 3. Still there for you, Clarky. Just play it again. Coming in pretty close, just a bit wide of the head to change it. There's the call. One to Wanganui. So 8:13 now after after 11 ends. So 4 to go. 5 the difference. So it's still there, but they have to make sure they score consistently from here on in.
Just heard a couple of the skips here say that this is the later they've played for a while, so...
Certainly this level of competition, I don't think it'd been out this late. Certainly the BPL in Australia gets to this sort of time on the night games, but...
Vern Marshall's bowl just sprung the jack back towards the bowl of Martinborough. So it looks like it's going to be 9-5.
Yep.
And again, Roger
Here we go
Andrew.
again. Same old story. We put this on tape.
Are you sure this is not a replay? 'Cause every time he's coming this way, he's going really, really well.
Just got it off Pat, hasn't he? Knows exactly where he's going on that hand. Glen Springer's getting a little bit interested in this, but it's going to pull up just a bit shy from Allen. Don't think Hayden Frew likes this one very much either by the body language. Not too bad though.
Not bad at all.
Just a bit shy.
And Roger Andrews placed that second one very, very well over the head.
Touch on that kitty and he'd still be in the right position. Players don't appear to be showing any signs of fatigue at the hour, do they?
No, they look pretty good. I mean, and then, you know, like when the games are nice and close like this, you tend to have your attention on the game and not worried about what time it is or what you didn't have for dinner or what you have for dinner. So Wanganui, they don't really need to panic here. You know, 4 to go, 5 down. Just win this end and you know, get control of the match.
Close the gap a little bit, yep.
Yeah. Similar in the other game, only 4 the difference.
Good line for you.
Manurewa was starting to pack him in behind nicely.
Yeah, it's a good bowl from Logan Clark.
Positive draw, flip past it, finish here is good. Push it up, good.
Good, all 4 teams here on the TV ranks here. Good communication from the skips in the third.
Yep.
They're nice, clear instructions. And
Scotty's just been called on a firm positive shot through the existing bowl of Hayden Frew just at the front. It's on its way. Scotty doesn't look too happy with it, but he's in the area. Just under what he was going for, I think. But not in a bad position.
in a good spot, absolutely. You'd rather them there
Than that far short.
absolutely. Yep, it's not often you see the jack move forward.
No, generally it has to spring off a back bowl to do that, doesn't
That's
it?
right. So it looks like there might be a bit of weight here from the Wanganui third, Michael O'Leary.
Tolaga Bay just played the shot that Martinborough called last
was-
bowl.
Good shot too. I tell you what, Michael O'Leary from Wanganui, he had the right line. He probably just added and needed another couple of metres of weight. 1 down on the head, Wanganui.
Yep.
Yeah, especially now they can play there now. So there's a real good bowl right there, mate.
Scott is quite deliberate on the mat, isn't he? He's very focused.
Yep. Hit the bang there, just didn't quite get it down to the ground before it had to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, and with this, well, I tell you what, it's not bad.
No.
That's pretty good. He didn't look that happy with it, did he, to be fair,
No.
but it's a great spot to be in there.
With this surface being on wood, you hear the bump if they drop them from a height.
Yes, you do, yep.
Still looks a good surface after 20 years down, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's fantastic. It really is. You know, like 20 years is a long time, and a lot of bowls have been played on it, and the surface has held up very, very well.
Yep, still be tight on those. Don't worry about hanging out here. Be tight on those before to that bowl.
Just a draw.
Steve Beale with the squeaky door coming in with the store updates. So we'll go through the score updates of the other rinks. With rank 3, we've got Paratutu leading 13-7 after 12 ends over Cooper's Beach. On rank 4, we've got Paraparaumu. They are down. Omaranui are leading them 17-12 after 12 ends. Riverhead from North Harbour, they are down 18-14 against Hillcrest, and that's after 13. Rank 6, Point Chevalier are 13-3 up over Arapahoe after 11 ends. And Petone, they are currently playing Club Papanui, and they're leading 11-8 after 12 ends. And Stephen Dipford, the skip, apparently is playing out of his tree, according to Steve Beale. A good result there for Tolaga Bay. Played through his own bowl, pushed it onto the jack, and has sprung it out for a couple.
Steve, being ex-Canterbury, come up to Wellington and joined a little club, well, not a little club, but a club that doesn't often feature at this level. Don't play in the Premier Interclub in Wellington. But joined a smaller club to try and help them grow bigger. And he won 2 Wellington events this year and has been to 2 of these, so he's done really well for the Petone Central Club.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? You know, you could have easily have gone to the bigger clubs,
Stokes Valley or something like that.
Valley,
All the other big
Nine,
players,
Victoria.
yeah.
But no, good on them. That's good to see.
And there's a couple of good secondary school kids coming through Petone Central as well.
Very good. You know, if kids like that can latch on to someone like Stevie, you know, like that's gold for those guys. He's a hell of a competitor, Steve Ditford, and you know, he's represented Canterbury numerous times.
A number of times, yeah.
And I dare say he'll be knocking on Wellington's door as well.
Plays a lot of his bowls at Leeds, doesn't he?
He does, yes.
Just a change of head over there.
Yeah, that was a good shot from Glen Springer. Pushed the jack right through to a waiting bowl.
Yep. Looks like Tolaga Bay hold probably 1 on the left
at
ring
1
at the changeover. Dave Clark's played his bowl, looking at it with interest.
Tell you what, if he sits that
But if somebody
orange,
gets there, here
he's
it comes.
very, very close here. I think he's played a honey here.
Played a cracker.
He's had a beauty. That could be easily 2 shots.
Yep. Possibly even 3.
Yeah, that was probably a wee bit of a heartbreaker there for the Wanganui 4. You know, they
Changed the concept of the game a bit, didn't it?
did.
One less end, and now the gap opens up even more.
That's right. You know, they were sitting there only being 4 behind with 4 to play or 3 to play.
Garry Muriwai just played a bomb on
Oh, that is a superb shot. Great time to play it too, you know. The 11th end, leading 9-5. Interesting, over in the other game, the Wanganui Manurewa, Roger Andrews has lengthened it out a wee bit here. He was playing those 3/4 lengths very, very well.
Doesn't look to be coming too bad even to this length,
Tell you what, it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Just throw the jack where he likes, and the 2 white and blue
I'll
bowls.
just add one to it. You put it where you want it, Skippy. I don't care.
Yeah.
And Marshall running up after this one. He's close.
There's he got it. Yeah.
Played a
good
bomb
shot.
as well.
That's
That's
a goodie.
2 great bowls from the
Absolutely.
skips.
Yep. That's a great shot. Marcus said you could play through that bowl and get a result, and he did. So Mark O'Brien's asking Garry to play a similar shot, maybe through the blue bowl that's at about 2 o'clock to the jack. But I think it's only 1 down, and 1 down's not a bad result here for Martinborough. Mark O'Brien's reasonably interested in this. Tell you what,
Taking
oh, that's a great effort.
Good try, wasn't it?
That was a great effort. A wee touch of the jack and could have made 2 of that.
Down to the last one. You've been playing down there.
Well, Alan Springer's drawn one for Wanganui.
So maybe they'll change the length. Didn't quite suit Roger Andrews.
No, he just fell short with his second one.
Bowl. Plays a great line though. Look at those. Back to the centre line in both cases.
It doesn't matter Roger misses because Logan Clark's gone pretty close. So Vern Marshall trying to add to the count here. If he could get a 2, that would be very handy for the Tolaga Bay 4. Don't know if he's got enough weight to get to the jack though, has he?
Nope. I heard it's called just 1. Wait for the score to go up.
I think it looked like 1.
After that one, you play to your bowl. Keep it tight.
Gone fairly quiet out there. It's been a long day for the crowd and for the competitors. Can't hear much noise coming through now.
Unlucky, not all bad, don't. It's all right.
Very clearly hear the skip's instructions now, can't you?
Yeah. The crowd have dispersed. They probably realise they've got another big day tomorrow and possibly Sunday.
Long days for Bowls Hastings personnel as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Great hosts they are too, to be fair. They've
Second time in 4 weeks they've been involved.
Yes, yeah. They, yeah, look, they can't do enough for us, really. It's fantastic. They are definitely looking after us very, very well.
Hayden Frew's bowl on its way down.
Looks
Looks
pretty
like it's
handy
going to
here
come
too.
very close.
He's going to belly the jack, is he?
Yep, picked
yeah,
it up,
well played.
take it back.
Big round of applause from his wife Janelle up in the grandstand.
Leave that as it is, mate. You come here, pass that bowl into here.
Tolaga Bay leads up a little bit narrow.
Now, beating that bowl.
So Dave Clark from Manurewa just asked Shane Drabble there just to stay away from it. Looks like they've got 1, maybe 2. And let Wanganui do all the work here. Looks like they've
If
just...
you want it, you chase it.
Absolutely, and it looks like they've Manurewa have got their bases covered pretty well, haven't they?
The 2 shots, 1 on each side, well apart. You can't get both of them with 1 bowl, can you?
And one at the back, so if the jack does move, they're not going to be in a world of pain there.
Just ducking under the head.
Oh, he's got a
He's
couple
almost
of,
got one of them.
he got a couple of wee little rubs there that didn't really help him out, Michael O'Leary.
By the look of that head on the other side, Hayden Frew changed his hand for his second bowl and drew up short.
Just up, just over that.
And the first bowl from this next bowl from Tolaga Bay is also short. Scott MacKenzie now steps up to play his. Picking it up, looks like he's rolled it into the backhand position.
Smooth delivery though, isn't it, Dave?
Watching it carefully, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Smooth delivery. Gets around that front stuff. He's very, very close. Yeah, top shot here.
Pretty well judged, wasn't it? Number 1.
Very nice.
Gives Tolaga Bay something to rest on. Little shelf there with 2 bowls wide.
In the other game, let's see what Glen Springer can do here. Probably needs a number of some description here at the moment. That's their bowl. He's going to hit the orange, but he possibly got rolled enough for shot.
Yep. Tolaga didn't use the shelf, being just outside it. Rub off their front bowl without moving it up very far.
Just beating that bowl.
We've got 2 seconds on the wing. Like, here is actually bad if the white didn't.
Heard the comment, we don't have to panic too much, do we?
Yeah, I think, and it's probably a good
Got
call
a
there
7-point lead. It's going to afford 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think it's a good call from Shane, to be fair.
Yep.
We don't need to go do anything silly here. We're only 1 down on the head. Glen Springer's going to have to play a really big bowl to get a decent number. Just draw one nice and close is probably what Dave Clark's thinking, but looked like he let it go a bit thin, to be fair.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There it goes. Did have a bit of weight on it too.
Did, yeah.
Took out one of their seconds. I wonder how many others.
Yeah, well, it's a good point you raise
The
there,
blue
Dave.
one goes. How many are in the count there?
Yeah.
It looks an awkward angle to get it out, doesn't
It does, yeah, and they've pretty well covered the white disc bowls there of Manurewa. Just draw a second shot would be very helpful. He's going to get an inside edge of the blue and sit close to the jack. He has.
And the kitty's just been hit on the other hand, on the other
That's from Tolaga Bay. That was
Tolaga
from,
Bay into the drain it went.
It's from Marcus, I think.
Yep, it's definitely Marcus.
Well,
Around that one.
Well, the
think
bowl and the kitty are way apart, and as a result of that,
I think Martinborough still hold a few, don't they?
I think they do. Yep. Here's somebody asking how long to go. It can't be long now. We're up to about 2 minutes past 11. I think we finish it between 8 and 10 past, somewhere in that area. So both games might end up a little short at ends, but we'll see.
So Tolaga Bay really have just got to draw to the ditch here.
Yeah, it could be a big end if it is 2 or 3 to
Yeah,
Martinborough and
absolutely.
Tolaga Bay don't cut it down.
So the blue and the orange bowl of Martinborough there, I think, are the shots.
Yep. And we'll just say repeat on the other rink.
Roger Andrew, he's been outstanding. He has been absolutely outstanding. You know, you look at the scoreboard, 15-10, I think it is, and the big part of that has been Roger Andrews leading.
Yep.
He's just led outstandingly well. Very deliberate on the mat, as you can see, but he's obviously got his, especially coming back towards the bar area here, he's got his line, and all it takes then is just making sure you got the weight right, and 9 times out of 10 he's done that pretty well too.
Look a little concerned about this one, but it's going to be another beauty.
Yeah, over the head, very good. Dave Clark's very, very happy with that.
Not far over the head either, but well bowled, well placed. It's not just his weight control, he's always around that centre line, isn't he?
Is he? Yeah, absolutely. Dead right. Oh, Martin might have just drawn another one there. The shot.
Pretty good bowl in reply to Roger Andrews' bowls there.
Yep. Ray Savage, great shot. So 15-10 with 2 to play. There's still a chance, Wanganui.
Yep.
Good. Well done.
So the Tolaga Bay Martinborough game, the jack is in the ditch. And now it's pretty much a drawing competition to try and get as close as possible.
This one might fall short from
Yeah,
Vern Marshall.
Vern's just going to pull up a touch short. So the blue bowl on the right-hand side, we think is the shot.
Good. Charlotte, Jack.
Dang, it almost looks out by that peg.
It does, doesn't it? Yep.
I think Garry Muriwai's bowled it, but I can't see it coming back into there. It comes. He's round that last bowl.
All on his weight now. Not quite. It's probably the line for it though, isn't it?
Yep.
It's one of the hardest shots in bowls, isn't it?
Drawing to the drain.
Ditch. Drawing to the ditch.
Even harder for the skips because everything else is on the head in the way.
Yep. Well, I remember watching, actually you mentioned him a couple of times, Seamus Curtin, as the bowl comes in here from Tolaga Bay. Is it going to
fall in the drain?
It is, unfortunately. Seamus Curtin, he playing for Wellington in the Intercentre final there a few years ago in Canterbury. He drew one right on the plinth that just landed on the timber. He was playing Sean Scott at the time, and Scud just shook his head.
Yeah, well done.
What do you do? It was one of the best bowls I've seen. It was superb.
You had that instruction from Mark O'Brien for Garry Muriwai with the last bowl of the head.
Doesn't change you, mate. You're just drawing the shot down there. Be confident.
It's on its way.
Clear traffic here. He's got around that shorter one.
Same
bowl.
as his first.
So it's one to Martinborough. So over on rink 2, I think Wanganui have the shot with the blue bowl at 9 o'clock with the black disc.
Yep.
They are 15-10 down, playing the 14th. So another wee number would be nice. Another 2, give you a decent chance. I suppose as long as you're under 8, you've got a chance, haven't you?
Yeah, you have.
Hayden Frew started with a goodie. Very good one, front toucher.
Glen Springer's just gone across the front.
Yeah, probably slightly disappointing there for Glen. You know, like you're chasing the game a wee bit. You don't want to come up short, do you?
We won't go there. Anywhere back
Dave
here.
Clark on his way. Looks like he's swinging in pretty close to the head here. Good weight.
Yeah, I think Shane Drabble summed it up pretty acutely there earlier. They don't have to do much here, do
No,
they?
that's right.
You know, don't.
No risk. Don't give him any chances.
That's
Make
right.
them do the work.
Don't drop a big number. Let's see what Glen Springer can do here with his last bowl of the 14th end. It's a fair effort, to be fair. No change, says Shane. So Clark will just try and draw.
Over the head, real good. Just another counters here.
We seem to be near behind in our graphic on the Wanganui Manurewa game. It's still showing 15-8.
It's not far away here, Clarkie. Oh, that's a top bowl.
There's a cracker
That's
in
a
it.
great shot.
2 shots.
2 shots.
And you just about say game over.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a chance, 17-10. But you don't see too many 7s and
No.
8s, do you?
You hope no big ends go on the last one.
Over the head, beating that. It's a metre over.
Yeah, not a bad spot there for Ben Elkington from Tolaga Bay. That's where the jack's going to head towards.
Scott MacKenzie up on the mat. Tight game that Martinborough Tolaga Bay. 16 shots over 13 ends.
Yeah, not a bad spot there from MacKenzie. If that blue bowl of Hayden Frew's does move, the jack's going to pop out towards that area.
Correct, yep.
So what can Ben Elkington do here for Tolaga Bay? As MacKenzie's bowls fall over, which...
gets out of the way of the one coming towards it.
Yep.
We'll have one here.
Yeah, and a smart move here from Garry, saying to Mark O'Brien, let's just run for cover here for a wee bit.
Again, they can afford to drop one couple of ones towards the end of
That's
the game.
right.
You don't want any big ends. Gary's obviously happy with that one.
Roger, there, mate. You play through, Roger. Be tight on it. That's the option there.
So Vern having a real good look at this. Obviously 4 behind, playing the 13th.
Talking to the crowd, I think.
Yes, he is.
Maybe the bell's gone. The Wanganui bowl down the head, doesn't look too bad. Pretty reasonable place, looks like another shot.
Play for the red now.
There, Dave. Just heard the bell, so these will be the last bowls played on both of these rinks. So
Not bad, 12 minutes past 11 at night. Little run shot didn't make much progress for them.
well, Martinborough going to look at putting a wee block in here.
I reckon it's the hardest shot in the book to get in the right
Yeah,
spot.
it's one of them, absolutely.
Some distracted Mark O'Brien as he backed off the mat.
So Manurewa, they're leading 17-10, I think the score is.
I think it is too, yep.
And Wanganui, they need what some would say is a miracle to get out of this one.
I'm really cool. They've got a couple.
Tolaga Bay having another go. Closer this time. They're going to kill. Push the jack out.
Did the jack go out or did it go back into the drain?
Not a lot of... Well, no.
No, there goes the kitty back.
Killed, so they've got to replay it.
Yep. Had a bit more time on to our employment tonight.
Yeah. Well, it gives them a chance, doesn't it? So they can try and hunt that 5 or a 4 just to get to an extra end. Oh, good shot there. Good shot from Shane Drabble.
Yeah, I think that game's now over unless we get a kill as well.
And that's probably the only real option that Wanganui have, really, to be fair. Let's try and kill it and start again. So Steve Beals has given some updates on the other rinks. We've got some final scores. Paratutu have come out victors over Cooper's Beach. Not really sure of the score, but we know that Paratutu have won. Oamaranui from the Hawke's Bay have beaten Paraparaumu 19-13. Hillcrest from the Waikato, they got out to a big lead 10-3 early on, but they've hung on to beat Riverhead 18-17. Point Chev have had a dominant victory over Arapahoe 11-7, and Petone has beaten Club Papanui 14-10, and I believe Stevie Dipford was on fire. So fantastic result for Petone. So they're just getting a wee bit of clarification there from the umpire, Martinborough, just seeing if the killed end is replayed, being the last one.
And the answer to that is yes. It was announced at the start of the day. Once the end starts, it's got to be finished.
That was a long time ago, Dave, wasn't it?
It was.
I don't know if some of these boys
I don't
remember
think
that.
the men might have been here. Probably confusion arises because if it's an extra end,
That's right, yep.
as in the two teams are tied, the kitty goes out, it's then placed back on the 2 metre mark. But only in that exceptional circumstance where it's a tie.
So this is the last bowl here from Glen Springer, and he's conceded. He's shaking hands, and pretty comprehensive victory there for Manurewa, set up by Roger Andrew, their lead.
Very much so, yep.
Absolutely
Consistent as hell, wasn't he?
He was, and Dave Clark, the skip from Manurewa, all he had to do was just add to the pot, and they picked up a couple of big numbers earlier on, and that's a good win for Manurewa.
Fair bit of experience showing through in that team. You heard them talking about not having to panic and keeping control towards the end.
That's right. Yep. And hopefully, maybe the Edendale team are watching that, and we might get a few tips from them.
Sorry, I wasn't getting to you.
So Tolaga Bay, they killed that end, so they've still got a chance here. So what happens if the end's killed now? Is the game
Keeps
over?
going. No,
Okay,
once the end starts, it's played out.
Hayden Frew ploughs through his own bowl to get the shot. You can see up on the left-hand side of the rink there, up on the members' grandstand, a lot of the Wairarapa ladies are
Supporting their boys.
supporting the boys. Looks like he might have a piece of the jack. No, it goes right through the gap.
Obviously wasn't mucking around either. He went through at pace.
He did go through a pace, didn't he? George Tamihana.
Driving lead, we call it.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, if your lead's driving, you're generally not in good shape, are you?
Absolutely.
So Scott MacKenzie, as we've stated before, Dave, he's very deliberate.
Yeah, very deliberate case. Carefully placing both feet. Turns the bowl over to get the grip right.
But it's obviously a process that works for him.
Yes.
And, you know, us lawn bowlers, we're all about processes and so forth. So, and
Consistency in our delivery and
absolutely. And that's why you have your process, because that's a great bowl from Scott MacKenzie.
Yep. You see Joe Edwards, she always delivers a bowl, steps out 2 steps to the right, head down. Doesn't look up till the bowl's about 3/4 of the way down the ramp.
Yep.
Does it every bowl.
So what can Ben Elkington do here for Tolaga Bay? They're going to sit full on the blue. Not quite.
Still a couple to Martinborough by the look of that head. Cheers, mate. Dave Clark just returned the mic to us, having been wired up for that game.
So Garry just asking Scott for pretty much the same bowl, please. And I think he's done a pretty good job. Over the head's golden here for
Yep.
Martinborough.
Can't be too long till Vern's team have to start attacking again, being a couple down.
That's right. He's just asking Ben just to draw here and maybe get something close to the head so that they can work
off
with.
it. Yep.
Reasonably attacking here from Ben. Well, it's another one on the head and one over the
One
head.
to the back, yep.
So Mark O'Brien with the brightest shoes in the club today.
And if Martinborough don't drop a 4 here, or a 5, all these teams that we've seen in this game will still be live into tomorrow. Manurewa with 2 wins, and Martinborough, Tolaga Bay and Wanganui all with 1. So both all requiring their 2 wins tomorrow.
So what would you be doing here, Dave, if you were Tolaga Bay? Would you be going for the kill now?
I'd be after it already, yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see what type of weight Marcus plays here. He is playing with a bit of weight.
I have to get a lucky result here. He was under the head pretty early.
He was. He had a chance on the 2 purple bowls there of Ben's, but he never really looked like it was in the hunt, unfortunately.
What's Garry going to call here, a block or something else?
Oh, look, if there's your answer, Dave. He's
Looking
going
to
to
move
try
the
and
jack himself.
tuck the jack away so that it's a wee bit hidden for the Tolaga Bay boys.
Yep. Looks on pretty good line
Not
to
a
get
mile
somewhere
away from
close
here.
as well.
Well, he's probably just going to add to the pot, to be fair.
Makes that line direct to the kitty pretty tight now.
Yeah. Marcus got a chance to go through that blue bowl as well to kill the...
And if he gets the edge of it, it'll take him off the line of the jack outside. There he goes, lining up again.
It'll be measured weight again, I think, from Marcus. Oh, he's
Not happy again, he's underneath the
might
head
get
again. He might get a rub
lucky
here though.
And
Well, disturbed a few things, but it still
Yeah.
didn't do much good for Tolaga Bay, who need 4.
it gives Vern a wee bit of a gate there at the front, bit of a guide. Marcus just having a word to the crowd up in the corporate box.
What do we think Garry will play this time? Try and put one on the centre line between those 2 front
Yeah,
bowls?
possibly. I mean, Tolaga Bay, they're just looking for the kill, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter where you put your bowl. And in these situations, sometimes you just say, look, good luck.
Go for it,
yeah.
yeah.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, well, we win. If you get it, we carry on.
Carry on, yeah.
But over the head's probably a good shot there from Garry. And I don't think Vern's got much option but to go straight down the middle and...
Hope it springs out sideways.
Yeah, I hope it springs out sideways. There's a chance that it could bounce up the green as well, with those back bowls.
One of those few occasions where there is a good chance to go back up the green, because the blue one at the back looks pretty square behind it.
Yeah, what Vern doesn't want is he doesn't want to put the jack in the ditch, does he? 'Cause, even though they've got the shot with the back blue bowl there on the left, it really takes some opportunity away to get a number. Well, he's been there or thereabouts with his attacking shots in this game, Vern, so there's a lot of weight here, and he's
under
like,
as well.
Yeah, a bit like Marcus. I tell you what, he just about got the result.
He got that kitty full on, would have got out that side with his bowl.
He would have taken it. Yeah, it's That's a very good point there from
Mark O'Brien.
Mark O'Brien. Further back it goes towards the ditches, harder it is to kill.
Obviously something's been said to cause Garry to have a big smile. Back to his work now, delivers the bowl.
Well, these guys probably, Martinborough and Tolaga Bay, they're reasonably close-ish, aren't they? So they've probably played against each other every now and again. And
Yep, Wairarapa and
Gisborne East Coast.
Gisborne East Coast are in the same
Zone.
region for
Yep.
national playoffs. Or for regional playoffs, I should say, to go to national events.
So Vern's got a hit here.
In actual fact, they play a lot of those sort of games right here.
Yes, they do. They did this year, didn't they?
Yep.
And Hawke's Bay were the winner of that one, were they?
Not sure.
I think they might have been the men. I know the men were. And I think the Wairarapa woman won, I think, if my memory serves me well.
Yep.
So Vern's got a hit here, or it is game over.
Of course, Wellington, which is where I belong, is on the other side, up to Taranaki, and that's game over.
It
Well
is
done.
game over. Yeah,
Well done to Martinborough.
Martinborough looks like they pick up a 4 on the last end
Yep.
to take victory.
Thank you, Shane, for your assistance.
It's been my pleasure, Dave, and
Enjoyed doing it with you. It's been good fun.
absolutely, and I hope everyone out there tunes in tomorrow at about 10 o'clock, is it?
10:20 for
10:20.
round 5 of the women's. We shall be back then. Until then, good night.
Good night, everyone.